Welcome to the Easy Peasy Methodcast, the podcast that's here to help you break free from porn the easy peasy way. No guilt, no struggle, just a new perspective that makes quitting feel natural. Because real freedom isn't about giving something up, it's about gaining back everything porn has taken from you. We uncover the hidden patterns that shape our thinking and keep us stuck in cycles we never chose. Today, we're talking about something that most people don't even realize is happening to them: porn as a social habit. Most people think porn is just a personal choice, something they do alone, in private, without anyone else involved. But what if I told you that porn isn't just an individual habit? What if it's something that has been conditioned into you by society? Something that was planted in your mind before you even had a chance to question it? This is the part of the addiction that no one talks about: how the world around you has set you up to believe that porn is normal, even necessary. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that conditioning works and how it keeps people trapped in the cycle. Let's start at the beginning. Think about the first time you ever heard about porn. It probably wasn't from some dark corner of the internet. More likely, it was a joke on TV, a comment from a friend, a casual reference in a movie. It was everywhere, before you even had a chance to question it. And that's the first layer of conditioning: normalization. Society makes porn seem like something every guy does, something that's just a part of life. It's not just accepted, it's expected. If you don't watch it, people assume you're weird or lying or missing out. And because of that, most people don't even stop to ask themselves, do I actually want this? They just assume that because everyone else is doing it, they should too. And this is how addiction starts, not because someone actively chooses it, but because it's introduced to them as something they should do. They don't watch because they're desperate for it. They watch because it feels like a rite of passage, like a normal part of growing up. And once they start, that's where the trap tightens, because the second layer of conditioning is reinforcement. Every time someone watches porn, their brain releases huge amounts of dopamine, way more than they would get from real life experiences. And what does that do? It trains the brain. It teaches it that this is a reward, something worth repeating. But here's the trick: the brain isn't just responding to the porn itself, it's also responding to the messages that came with it. The messages from media, from friends, from society, and those messages reinforce the idea that porn is harmless, that it's better than real relationships, that it's just a bit of fun. Think about how porn is portrayed in movies and TV shows. It's never shown as a problem. It's always played for laughs, as something goofy or harmless. If a character watches a lot of porn, they're just a guy being a guy. If a woman discovers her boyfriend or husband watches it, she's supposed to just accept it as normal. And over time, this conditioning destroys any motivation to quit. Because even if someone starts to feel like porn isn't good for them, even if they notice the brain fog, the lack of motivation, the damage to their relationships, they ignore it. Why? Because society has told them that they're wrong, that quitting porn is unrealistic, that they'll be miserable without it. And this is why so many people stay trapped, not because they don't want to quit, but because they believe that quitting is impossible. Now let's talk about the third layer of conditioning: social reinforcement. Because even if someone starts to question porn, even if they begin to feel like it's making them unhappy, they still have to deal with other people's opinions. And here's the hard truth: most people won't support you quitting, not because they don't care, but because they've been conditioned just like you. They'll say things like, "Why would you quit? It's just harmless fun." Or, "You're making a big deal out of nothing." Or even worse, "You'll never stop anyway, so why try?" And when someone hears that enough times, it kills their motivation. They start to doubt themselves. They think, maybe I am being extreme. Maybe I should just cut down instead of quitting completely. But here's the problem: cutting down doesn't work. And that's exactly what Easy Peasy reveals. The only way to be free is to quit completely, to remove the illusion of pleasure, to see porn for what it really is. But as long as someone is surrounded by people who still believe in the illusion, it's harder to walk away. And this is why social conditioning is one of the biggest obstacles to quitting. Because it's not just about breaking an addiction, it's about going against everything you've ever been told. It's about standing up and saying, I see through the illusion and I choose to be free. And that's not easy, but it's necessary. So how do you break free from the social conditioning? You stop listening to the voices that keep you trapped. You stop letting people who are still stuck in the cycle define what's normal for you. You start looking at reality, not at what society says, but at what you actually feel. And if you've been questioning porn, if you've been feeling like it's not making you happy, then that's your truth. It doesn't matter what your friends say, what movies say, what the internet says. Your experience is real, and once you trust yourself, the conditioning loses its power. Now, let's talk about what happens after you break free. At first, there's a sense of disconnection. Because when you step away from porn, when you stop engaging in the habit, you also start seeing society differently. You start noticing how much sex is used to sell things, how much media pushes lust, how normalized addiction is. But then something incredible happens. You stop caring. Because when you no longer believe in the illusion, it doesn't affect you anymore. When you see porn as nothing more than a scam, a trick, a habit that was never giving you anything, you don't feel deprived. You feel free. And suddenly, all the social conditioning that once controlled you, it fades away. You don't feel pressure to fit in because you realize that real freedom isn't about following the crowd. It's about making choices that actually make you happy. And when that shift happens, you win. So if you've been feeling stuck, ask yourself, am I actually choosing this? Or was this choice made for me? Because if porn was something you were taught to do, then walking away isn't losing anything. It's just taking your power back. That's it for today's episode of the Methodcast. If this resonated with you, don't just think about it, act on it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, send it their way. Because sometimes the only thing standing between someone and freedom is a shift in perspective. If this resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need a little encouragement today. Every conversation like this brings us closer to freedom, clarity, and a life that feels truly good. Until next time, stay focused, stay free, and always remember, you are capable of so much more than you realize. If this spoke to you, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and share it with someone who might need a little light today. You're not alone. We're rewriting the story together. Until next time, stay strong, stay open, and remember, freedom is your birthright.